Hey guys, tonight we embark on a journey to uncover a hidden world, a world behind the dazzling beauty of medieval slave women. Before we dive deeper, please take a moment to rate this story and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next parts of this softly unfolding tale. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a crowded medieval marketplace. The air is thick with an intoxicating blend of aromas, fragrant spices from distant lands, freshly baked bread, the tongue of sweat, and an undercurrent of something darker, something unspoken. The streets hum with the voices of merchants shouting their wares, buyers bargaining fiercely, horses clattering over cobblestones, and children darting through the throng. You feel the pulsing energy of a city alive with commerce and secrets. Among the sea of faces, your gaze is drawn to a woman. Her beauty is striking, almost ethereal. Porcelain skin flawless under the soft light, eyes deep and mysterious, lips curved in a gentle but guarded smile. Her dark hair cascades in waves, catching the sunlight like strands of silk. She moves with grace, every step measured, every glance careful. But beneath this enchanting exterior, you sense a heaviness, a hidden story whispered in the depths of her gaze. In the harsh reality of the medieval world, such beauty was both a blessing and a curse. For slave women, beauty was a double-edged sword, prized and desired by masters and traders. Yet it often meant a life bound not by choice, but by chains. Their days were marked by servitude and suffering, their nights by silent tears and whispered prayers for freedom. Behind the finely embroidered gowns and delicate jewels lay bruises, some visible, many concealed, and scars that no eye could see. You begin to understand that beauty was a mask, a veil hiding the terrifying truths of their existence. Every smile was a survival tactic, every whispered compliment a subtle reminder of ownership. Their bodies, though adorned with finery, were often traded as commodities, their spirits tested and tempered by cruelty. Yet in that very vulnerability, there was resilience, a quiet strength woven into the fabric of their being. As you watch her weave through the marketplace, you imagine the layers she wears are not just fabric, but veils of protection, shielding her from the harsh gaze of those who would see only possession, not person. You hear the muted whispers behind closed doors, the soft footsteps in shadowed corridors, the stolen moments of tenderness shared among those trapped in similar fates. The marketplace itself becomes a character, a sprawling stage of contrasts where light and darkness collide. Amid the vibrant colors and lively chatter lies a web of secrets, silent acts of rebellion, alliances forged in secrecy, and hopes too fragile to voice aloud. The glitter of jewels and the softness of silk contrast sharply with the hard truth beneath. Lives lived on the edge of despair and defiant hope. Tonight, you are invited to listen closely, to walk softly among these hidden stories. You will uncover the terrifying truths veiled by beauty, truths wrapped in silence and shadow, but also marked by courage and endurance. Allow yourself to breathe deeply, to let the mystery settle gently around you like a soft evening mist. This story is not only about pain, but about the unyielding human spirit, not just about suffering, but about quiet rebellion and hope. As your breath slows and your mind eases, let the tale guide you into a restful sleep where shadows soften and dreams bloom. Let the beauty you see become a testament to strength, and the whispers you hear remind you of resilience. Welcome to the Veil, a world unseen, a story waiting to be told, a secret kept in the silent grace of medieval slave women. You find yourself drawn irresistibly closer to the woman's face, captivated not just by the fragile beauty that graces her features, but by the stories concealed in the depths of her eyes. They are eyes that have witnessed more than you could imagine, shadows of pain and traces of hope entwined in a delicate dance beneath their dark surface. Here, in this medieval world, the harshest chains are those unseen, the silent chains that bind the spirit even when the body is free to move. The marketplace bustles around you, a chaotic symphony of voices, haggling merchants, clattering carts, and the ever-present murmur of the crowd. The scent of spices mingles with the less fragrant odors of sweat and labor, underscoring a world vibrant yet unforgiving. Amidst this whirlwind, the woman moves with measured grace, her every step a lesson in careful navigation. Between the curious gazes of passers-by, the commanding eyes of her owners, and the invisible weight of her own confinement, you become aware that the chains binding her are not made of iron, but of expectation and control. Each day she bears the burden of obedience, the constant pressure to appear pleasing and compliant, to wear a mask of grace even when her spirit screams for release. Her beauty, prized and coveted by many, becomes a gilded cage, an object to be admired but never truly free. Behind the silken veil of her outward appearance lie the bruises that no one sees, not only the physical marks, but the deeper, invisible wounds carved into her soul. She conceals these scars beneath layers of fabric and feigned smiles, guarding her pain from the world's indifferent eyes. Every compliment she receives feels like a chain tightening, every touch a reminder that her body is not her own. Yet, amid this harsh existence, her eyes reveal flickers of defiance. In quiet moments, when the marketplace's noise fades to a distant hum, she dares to dream of freedom, of a life where she can walk unshackled and unhidden. These dreams are fragile, whispered prayers to the night sky, flickering candles against an encroaching darkness, but they are fiercely alive. You notice the small acts of rebellion woven into her daily life, the way she lingers a moment too long in the sunlight, the subtle exchange of knowing glances with others trapped like her, the secret words spoken in hushes beneath breath. These are the silent resistances that fuel her resilience, the quiet defiance that sustains her spirit. The marketplace, alive with its colorful bustle and cacophony, becomes a stage where the true drama unfolds, not in grand gestures, but in the subtle, hidden battles fought every day by those like her. You begin to see beyond the surface shimmer of silk and jewels to the raw human truths beneath. Her story unfolds before you like a tapestry, threads of sorrow and strength, fear and hope, captivity and courage woven together in intricate patterns. You walk this path gently with her, learning to read the language of her eyes, to hear the whispers behind her smile, and to understand the price paid for the beauty she wears. Tonight, as you listen, you will come to realize that the silent chains are the heaviest, the ones that bind not hands but hearts. But you will also discover the quiet power of endurance, the fierce light of hope that flickers even in the darkest shadows. Breathe slowly, let your shoulders relax, and allow the story to wrap around you like a soft, comforting shawl. There is beauty here, not just in appearance, but in the courage to endure, to resist, and to dream. And as you drift deeper into the story, know that every silent chain carries within it the potential to be broken. You feel drawn closer, your gaze fixed on the woman whose beauty seems almost ethereal, like a delicate painting brought to life under the muted glow of the medieval sun. Her skin is pale and flawless, as smooth as porcelain, her cheeks kissed lightly by a rosy blush. Her lips curve into a soft, almost wistful smile, one that hints at kindness but conceals a profound sorrow. Her eyes, those dark, deep pools, seem to hold entire oceans of untold stories, silent cries, and resilient hope all at once. In the swirling chaos of the marketplace, with its cacophony of voices, bustling footsteps, and the mingling scents of spices, sweat, and earth, she moves with a quiet grace that belies the heavy weight she carries within. Every step, every gesture, is measured and deliberate, a dance choreographed by years of survival and silent endurance. This woman's beauty is both her shield and her cage. In the brutal reality of medieval slavery, beauty was a double-edged sword. It attracted the attention of masters and traders, placing her on display as a prized possession. But it also marked her for a life of relentless control and unyielding expectations. Her face, admired by many, was a mask hiding the bruises no one saw, the ones etched deep within her heart and spirit. You imagine the long days she endures, working tirelessly from dawn to dusk. Her hands, delicate yet calloused, carry out endless tasks with precision and care. She answers every command with a practiced smile, swallowing the bitter taste of humiliation and fear. She endures cruel words and harsher touches with a quiet dignity that only the truly resilient possess. At night, behind the heavy wooden doors of the domus, she sheds the veil of composure. Alone in the shadows, tears fall silently, tracing lines of pain and longing on cheeks that must always appear perfect by day. She whispers prayers to gods who may or may not listen, clings to the fragile hope of freedom, and dreams of a life where she is more than property, where her voice is heard and her spirit unchained. Her beauty, then, becomes a veil, a delicate, shimmering curtain that hides the harsh truths of her existence. The silks and jewels she wears are not merely adornments. They are symbols of a captivity masked in finery. Behind the dazzling surface lies a battlefield where hope fights against despair, where the desire for freedom clashes with the harsh reality of bondage. You sense the tension in her every movement, the balance she maintains between submission and resistance, between vulnerability and strength. Her story is not told in loud declarations, but in subtle gestures. A lingering glance, a faint trembling of the hand, a shared smile with another soul imprisoned like her. These quiet acts of defiance speak volumes. As you walk beside her through the labyrinth of her life, you come to understand that true beauty is not simply skin deep. It resides in the strength to endure, in the courage to hope, in the resilience that refuses to be broken by chains, seen or unseen. Her face may be like a dream, but her heart beats like a prisoner's yearning, fierce, unyielding. Tonight, as you breathe slowly and let your thoughts soften, allow this story to enfold you gently like a velvet cloak. Let it remind you that behind every fragile smile is a universe of strength, and behind every silent tear, a song of survival. And as you drift toward sleep, know that within the deepest prisons, the human spirit still sings its quiet, indomitable song. You stand once more at the bustling heart of the medieval marketplace. The sun is beginning its slow descent, casting long, wavering shadows across the uneven cobblestones beneath your feet. The air hums with the lively clamor of merchants calling out their wares, the sharp ring of coins exchanging hands, the creaking of wooden carts laden with goods, and the low murmur of countless conversations weaving through the crowds. Yet beneath this veneer of ordinary commerce, you sense a darker rhythm pulsing, a hidden marketplace where beauty and freedom are bartered like precious treasures, where the cost is paid in chains unseen yet deeply felt. Your eyes are drawn to a raised platform where women stand like statues draped in the finest silks and velvets, their faces adorned with delicate touches of color, rouge on cheeks, kohl outlining their wide eyes, lips tinted with faint hues. To the casual observer, they are images of grace and allure, embodiments of perfection that captivate the gaze. But you, listening closely to the unspoken language of the marketplace, begin to see beyond the surface. Each poised smile masks a heart beating fast with fear and resignation. Every carefully arranged lock of hair hides the tremor of uncertainty beneath. These women are not merely admired, they are traded. Their beauty, a currency more valuable than gold, is weighed and measured by buyers whose eyes gleam with greed and power. Their fates hang on whispered negotiations and the clinking of coins, moments where hope is wagered and freedom is bartered away. You notice the subtle signs of this grim exchange, the quick, darting glances to the sides where familiar faces might offer a sliver of comfort, the tightening of fists beneath embroidered sleeves, the stoic acceptance etched on faces young beyond their years. The marketplace, a spectacle of life and color, conceals a darker truth. Here, the line between possession and personhood blurs, and beauty becomes a gilded cage. The silks and jewels adorning these women are chains woven from desire and control. Their worth is measured not in dreams or talents, but in the brightness of their eyes and the curve of their smiles, assets to be bought, sold, and owned. Yet beneath the surface of this merciless trade, you detect the faintest flicker of defiance. In the exchanged glances between women, in the shared sighs and quiet words behind closed doors, lies a fragile network of solidarity. Acts of kindness and rebellion are small but potent, a hidden language of hope passed through the shadows. Each whispered secret and stolen moment of joy is a spark against the darkness. As the sun dips lower and the lanterns begin to glow softly along the streets, the marketplace shifts in mood. The harshness softens, replaced by a quiet solemnity. You realize this is more than a place of commerce. It is a crucible where lives are shaped by resilience and courage. Here, beauty is not only a curse, but also a weapon, wielded in the silent struggle for survival and dignity. Tonight, you are invited to walk deeper into this marketplace of shadows, to uncover the terrifying truths hidden beneath the dazzling facade of beauty and the relentless hunger for freedom. You will see how the line between captor and captive blurs, and how the human spirit can find ways to resist even when bound by the most delicate of chains. So breathe slowly, let your thoughts drift, and let this story unfold gently, like the fading light of day, carrying you softly toward the calm embrace of night. You step softly into a quiet chamber far removed from the marketplace's clamorous life, where the true cost of beauty reveals itself not in the bright light of day, but in the shadows of secrecy. The delicate silk gowns and intricate lace that adorn the women you saw earlier are not mere decorations. They are veils of survival, carefully woven barriers that hide the brutal realities beneath. Here, the air is heavy with the scent of rosewater mingled with dust, sweat, and an unspoken ache, a weight borne silently beneath the surface. Before you, she moves with careful, deliberate precision. Her hands, slender but calloused from long days of toil, tremble just slightly as she smooths the shimmering silk over skin marred by bruises, both visible and those hidden deep within. Each fold of lace is a ritual, a careful performance crafted through years of necessity. The silken threads are armor against a world that sees her not as a person, but as a possession, an object to be owned, displayed, and traded. Her reflection in the cracked mirror is haunting a fragile visage of exquisite beauty, framed by delicate fabrics. But her eyes tell a different story. They are windows into exhaustion far beyond the physical, pools of resilience carved from pain, and a heart imprisoned by forces beyond her control. This reflection is at once a refuge and a prison, a reminder of the delicate balance she must maintain between submission and self-preservation, between obedience and the fierce spark of rebellion flickering within. The burden of appearance is ceaseless and unrelenting. Society demands perfection, a flawless smile to hide the aching beneath, a graceful posture masking weariness, and a calm demeanor that conceals raging storms. To falter is to invite punishment, scorn, or worse. Yet beneath the polished exterior lies a spirit forged through relentless trial, fragile, yes, but unyielding, tender, yet fiercely strong. Her survival depends on this impossible contradiction, the coexistence of vulnerability and fierce resilience. You sense the exhaustion radiating from her gaze, the quiet longing for moments of peace, breaths free from the oppressive gaze of ownership and control. The silk that shimmers under flickering candlelight, the lace framing her face in delicate intricacy, are not just ornaments, they are chains woven from expectation and captivity, binding her to a role scripted by others, a role demanding the suppression of her true self beneath layers of beauty and compliance. Her story, like so many others in this hidden world, is one of survival under cruel confinement, of strength born from vulnerability and quiet rebellion. Behind every forced smile lies a reservoir of pain and hope, courage and despair. The fabrics she wears are symbols not only of wealth or status, but of endurance and resilience. Veils hiding scars of loss, longing, and silent battles fought in the darkness. As the daylight wanes and the world outside falls into silence, you are invited to witness the true cost of beauty, the silent struggles, whispered prayers, and indomitable spirit of those who refuse to be broken. The silk and lace transform from mere fabric into a testament of human endurance, a fragile shield cradling the soul's flickering hope. Tonight, as you close your eyes and surrender to the calm of night, let this story enfold you like a soft, comforting shawl. Let it remind you that beneath every exquisite facade lies a profound truth, a story of courage and survival deserving of honor. Let it carry you gently into restful sleep, where grace and strength intertwine beneath the soft veil of dreams. You find yourself stepping slowly and quietly into the soft embrace of night, leaving behind the bustling chaos of the marketplace and the ever-watchful eyes of the masters and overseers. The sun has long set, and now shadows reign supreme in this vast medieval household, stretching along narrow hallways, curling into hidden chambers, and pooling into the corners where the enslaved women gather in fragile, precious sanctuaries. Here, where walls seem to hold their breath, whispers weave through the darkness, like fragile threads binding souls together with a delicate strength born of shared suffering. The air is thick and heavy with the mingling scents of burning tallow candles, damp stone, and faint traces of dried herbs, lavender, rosemary, sage hidden carefully in small cloth bundles, tucked close to chests and tied beneath worn cloaks. This subtle fragrance offers comfort, a whisper of softness against the hardness of their daily reality. Flickering candlelight dances on the rough, uneven stone walls, casting flickering shadows that seem to listen. leaning in to catch the hushed voices murmuring beneath the quiet hush. In this sacred realm, every spoken word is a precious gift, each whisper a lifeline carefully offered and received. The women speak softly, voices barely more than a breath, knowing that a louder word, a careless phrase, could summon swift and brutal punishment lashings that mark flesh and soul, cruel isolation, or darker fates whispered in fear. Yet in these stolen moments of vulnerability and solidarity, stories are born, and shared stories of hardship, born with silent grace, of hope flickering faint but fierce, of unyielding sisterhood flourishing amid captivity. You listen with rapt attention as voices weave a tapestry of endurance and resilience, a rich mosaic of experience, both heartbreaking and inspiring. They speak of stolen laughter, shared beneath moonlit skies, tender lullabies sung softly to soothe aching hearts, and prayers uttered with trembling lips to gods who may or may not hear. Their narratives paint vivid pictures of relentless labor, harsh punishments, cold stone floors, and merciless overseers. But threaded through these tale lies is the indomitable spirit of resistance, the refusal to surrender dignity, the quiet rebellion hidden beneath downcast eyes. Within this intimate circle, the women form a silent community of defiance and care. They share warnings about cruel masters, exchange herbal remedies for aching bodies and wounded souls, and offer unspoken promises of loyalty and protection. Memories of lost families and vanished freedoms pass between them like sacred relics, while whispers of escape or reunion with loved ones breathe hope into the night air. This sisterhood, delicate but potent, becomes their shield and their sword, a source of strength amid despair. You feel the weight of invisible wounds they carry, wounds not carved in flesh, but etched deep into their souls. These scars speak of trauma endured in silence and sorrow held close to the heart. Yet from these shared trials blooms a quiet power, a fierce resilience nurtured in the soil of suffering, a courage that shines brightly despite the darkness. These women embody paradoxes, fragile yet formidable, broken yet unbreakable, silent yet profoundly present. As you move gently through this nocturnal sanctuary, the vibrant sounds of the marketplace fade into the distance, replaced by the tender murmur of whispered confidences and the rhythmic pulse of shared humanity. You bear witness to lives hidden beneath layers of finery and silent stories that history has often ignored, but that burn vividly in the hearts of those who live them. Let these soft murmurs surround you like a warm, comforting shawl, soothing your mind and slowing your breath. As night deepens and your eyes grow heavy, may the quiet strength of these voices carry you peacefully into the calm sanctuary of sleep. Here, in the sacred hush of whispers and shadows, the human spirit shines eternal softly, fiercely, and endlessly. You find yourself irresistibly drawn to peer beyond the delicate facade, the porcelain skin that glows under the soft candlelight, the gentle smile practiced and perfected over years. Beneath the shimmering silks and intricate lace, behind the layers of powder and rouge, lies a deeper truth, a map of hidden bruises and scars, not all visible to the naked eye, but etched deeply within the flesh and spirit of the women trapped in a world where beauty is both blessing and curse. Imagine, if you can, the endless days stretching under a harsh sun, days filled with backbreaking labor, where her hands, though delicate in appearance, bear the marks of constant toil. She moves with practiced grace, obeying commands barked without mercy, every misstep risking punishment severe and swift. The overseer's voices cut through the air like knives, and the lashes that follow leave marks that sting long after they fade. Each bruise on her skin tells a tale, a silent narrative of pain endured, of moments when the body was no longer her own. But the bruises hidden beneath the surface, those invisible wounds carried in her heart and mind, weigh heavier still. They are scars of stolen freedom, shattered dreams, and the ever-present ache of captivity. In the quiet solitude of night, these hidden bruises throb painfully, reminders of a body violated and a spirit bent but not broken. You watch how these wounds ripple through her every movement. There is a stiffness in her posture, a guardedness in her gaze. Her eyes flicker constantly, wary and watchful, scanning for threats invisible to others. She flinches at sudden touches, a reflex born of pain and fear. Yet, beneath it all, burns a fierce, unyielding flame, a strength forged in the crucible of suffering. Her beauty is a shield and a mask. The silks and lace that adorn her bruised skin are not just ornaments, but layers of protection. Makeup is applied with care to conceal signs of exhaustion and pain, transforming her into an image of flawless grace. The jewels she wears sparkle under candlelight, capturing eyes and hearts. Yet the true brilliance lies within, in a courage and resilience that refuses to be extinguished. In quiet moments, when the world outside fades away, she allows herself to dream. Dreams of freedom, of love, of life unshackled by chains visible and invisible. These dreams are fragile but fierce, sparks of hope that flicker stubbornly against the dark. They are the source of her courage and the reason she endures. Tonight, as you listen and breathe slowly, you are invited to honor these hidden bruises, to look beyond the dazzling surface and grasp the true cost of beauty in a world that demands so much but gives so little in return. To witness the quiet dignity and indomitable spirit of women who carry their scars with grace, whose hearts beat with hope even in the darkest captivity. Let this story enfold you like a soft, warm shawl, comforting your mind and slowing your breath. Let it carry you gently toward peaceful rest, where strength and grace intertwine beneath the soft veil of dreams. And as you drift off to sleep, remember this: every hidden bruise tells a story of survival, every scar speaks of courage, and every silent heart pulses with enduring hope, a hope that no chains can bind. You watch her move silently through the dim, winding corridors of the vast medieval household, each step a careful dance honed by years of necessity. Her movements are fluid yet cautious, a subtle language of survival spoken through posture and glance. The soft rustle of silk accompanies her passage, a delicate music masking the harsh realities beneath. Her face, serene and composed, is a masterful mask, a facade of grace meticulously maintained to hide the turmoil within. In this unforgiving world, submission is both armor and prison. To resist is to invite wrath, cruel words, harsher punishments, or isolation from the few comforts the enslaved women share. So she bows her head, softens her voice, and lowers her gaze, learning to blend into shadows while guarding a fierce, unyielding spirit that refuses to be broken. You sense the profound weight of this duality. Publicly, she embodies obedience and compliance, her every smile a quiet act of appeasement. Privately, she harbors rebellion, a tender flame of hope and strength that flickers beneath the surface. This mask is not weakness, but strategy, a shield against cruelty, a means to survive another day in chains. Her smile, gentle and practiced, soothes suspicion and disarms anger. It is both a balm for others and a shield for herself, concealing the cracks where pain and resilience intertwine. Through this mask, she negotiates her existence, claiming small victories in moments of compliance, quietly resisting in the spaces between commands. Behind closed doors, when the world's gaze falls away, she lets the mask slip. Tears flow freely, grief spills into whispered prayers, and dreams of freedom rise unguarded in the solitude of night. These are sacred moments where vulnerability coexists with fierce hope, the hope that sustains her through endless days of servitude. You see how survival through submission is a complex, precarious balance of strength and sacrifice. It requires wisdom to choose when to yield and when to resist, courage to endure hardship without surrendering the essence of self. Each act of submission is layered with quiet defiance, a testament to the resilience buried deep within. As you observe her, you realize the mask she wears is more than a disguise. It is a lifeline. It protects a heart that yearns for freedom and a spirit that refuses to be extinguished. The graceful facade is both armor and rebellion, a silent narrative of survival etched in every gesture. Tonight, as you breathe deeply and your mind softens, you are invited to look beyond the mask, to witness the profound strength in submission, the courage in restraint, and the indomitable hope that burns beneath the calm surface. To honor the women who survive not by breaking chains openly, but by mastering the art of quiet endurance. Let this story wrap around you like a soft, warm shawl, calming your thoughts and slowing your breath. Allow it to carry you gently into peaceful rest, where strength and grace intertwine beneath the gentle veil of dreams. And as sleep enfolds you, remember that behind every mask is a story of courage, resilience, and an unbreakable will to live. You stand at the edge of a world cloaked in silence, where voices are muted, but spirits refuse to be broken. In this hidden realm of captivity and submission, you begin to notice the faintest flickers of resistance, silent rebellions woven into the fabric of daily life. These acts are not grand gestures or loud defiance. They are subtle, almost invisible ripples of courage and hope that speak volumes to those who understand. In the early morning hush, before the sun's rays spill into the courtyards, she lingers a little longer over her tasks. Her hands move with practiced care, but her heart beats a secret rhythm, a quiet insistence that she still holds some measure of control over her own body and fate. When no eyes are watching, her fingers brush the cool metal of a hidden locket nestled beneath her gown, a keepsake from a past life, a talisman of memory and longing. It is in these stolen moments, small and fragile, that her spirit kindles a flame that refuses to be extinguished. The courage it takes to sustain these silent acts is immense. Every delayed response to a command, every glance shared in secrecy, every whispered word passed beneath heavy breaths is a calculated risk. Yet, in these fleeting gestures lie profound rebellion, a refusal to be erased or silenced. The women share their small victories quietly. A smile withheld, a step diverted, a moment's respite stolen from the tyranny of their masters. These acts are not insignificant. They are threads of defiance woven into a tapestry of survival. You observe how these silent revolts ripple through the lives of the enslaved. In shadowed corners, they exchange remedies made from herbs and roots, knowledge passed down through generations, shared to ease pain and soothe weary bodies. Secret messages are written in the dirt, handed off with swift fingers, carrying hope and warnings alike. Their hands brush briefly in comfort and solidarity, a silent affirmation of shared strength and resilience. In these quiet exchanges, they reclaim fragments of autonomy and humanity. Beyond the harsh commands and ceaseless labor, a resilient sisterhood flourishes. They become each other's protectors and confidants, sharing whispered stories of lost families, exchanged hopes for escape, and murmured prayers for freedom. This sisterhood is a lifeline, a source of courage and comfort that sustains them through the bleakest days and loneliest nights. It is in these bonds, fragile yet fierce, that the true power of silent rebellion lies. As twilight descends and the estate grows still, the soft murmurs of resistance rise like a gentle tide. These small acts kindle an unquenchable fire within their hearts, a quiet but persistent light piercing the darkness of captivity. Their silent rebellions become a song, a melody of endurance, hope, and unbreakable spirit that echoes softly through stone halls and shadowed chambers. Tonight, as you listen and your breath slows, you are invited to witness these subtle acts of defiance, to understand how even in chains, the human heart finds ways to dance, to dream, and to claim freedom in whispers and glances. Let their courage inspire you, their resilience comfort you, and their hope guide you gently into the sanctuary of restful sleep. You find yourself drawn deep into the intimate world of sisterhood that exists quietly behind the harsh facades of the medieval household. In a realm where voices are suppressed and bodies controlled, these women weave a delicate yet unbreakable web of connection. It is a sanctuary of shared resilience and compassion, born not from grand proclamations or bold defiance, but from the softest, smallest acts of kindness, gestures so subtle they could be missed by any unobservant eye, yet powerful enough to sustain spirits. Before the first light of dawn, when the estate is shrouded in darkness, and the only sounds are the faint rustling of fabric and whispered breaths, you might find the women gathered in concealed corners or under heavy wooden beams. Here, they share the scant remnants of their meager meals, passing bread broken with care, drops of water savored like precious nectar. These moments, fragile and fleeting, become more than just sustenance. They are nourishment for the soul, a reminder that even in captivity, humanity endures. Soft voices float on the still air, weaving stories of lives once lived, the laughter of children playing beneath open skies, the gentle embrace of a mother, the joyous songs of distant celebrations. These memories are precious jewels, guarded fiercely, spoken with reverence and longing. They are threads of hope, binding the women to their pasts and their dreams of a freer future. You watch as these women exchange tokens imbued with meaning, a frayed handkerchief embroidered with tiny, secret symbols, a braided lock of hair preserved against the crushing weight of forgetfulness, a whispered prayer uttered with trembling lips. Each gift is a beacon of connection, a silent vow of loyalty and protection amidst a world designed to isolate and dehumanize. Their care for one another is fierce yet tender. When one stumbles beneath the harsh gaze of a master, or suffers under the blow of a cruel hand, others silently step forward, not always with words, but with presence and touch, a steady hand on a trembling shoulder, a shared glance that says, "You are not alone." Their laughter, rare and fragile, bursts forth in stolen moments, a sweet balm, a fleeting escape from the relentless heaviness of captivity. In this sisterhood, you sense a sacred strength. It is a refuge built of trust and empathy, a hidden fortress that protects what oppression seeks to destroy. Here, beneath the weight of chains, both physical and invisible, the women nurture each other's spirits, sharing courage, solace, and hope through whispered promises and silent understanding. Tonight, as your breath deepens and your mind softens, you are invited to feel the profound power of sisterhood, to recognize how, even in the bleakest corners of existence, the seeds of compassion and solidarity can sprout and grow, knitting together the broken pieces of shattered lives into a tapestry of resilience. This bond, fragile yet formidable, is a beacon of light that pierces the darkness, sustaining them through the loneliest nights and hardest days. Let this story enfold you like a soft, warm shawl, wrapping your thoughts in comfort and peace. Allow it to carry you gently toward restful sleep, where grace, courage, and the unbreakable spirit of sisterhood entwine beneath the gentle veil of dreams. And as you drift into slumber, remember this. Even in silence and shadows, and under the heaviest chains, the quiet strength of sisterhood shines bright, guiding and comforting those who dare to hold on. You find yourself beside her in the quiet stillness of night, where time seems to pause and the heavy weight of the day finally begins to lift. Her body rests on the cold, hard floor of a cramped, shadowed chamber, battered and bruised from the relentless demands of servitude. Yet her spirit remains untamed, soaring far beyond the physical confines that bind her wrists and hold her captive. Though chains may grasp her limbs, her mind roams freely, seeking solace and strength in the realm of dreams. A sanctuary where hope breathes and freedom sings softly in the wind. As the flickering candlelight casts long, wavering shadows on rough stone walls, she closes her eyes and slips into this secret world, a fragile refuge carved out from memories and desires. She imagines herself wandering through golden fields that stretch endlessly beneath a brilliant sky, where wildflowers sway in gentle breezes and birds weave melodies of liberation. The earth beneath her bare feet is soft and warm, a stark contrast to the harsh surfaces she knows all too well. Here, laughter flows like a clear stream, and joy fills the air as she dances freely, unburdened by fear or pain. You listen intently to the silent song of her dreams, a tapestry woven from echoes of a life long ago, tender moments with loved ones lost, the embrace of a mother's arms, the warm touch of a sister's hand, the vibrant celebrations of festivals beneath open skies. These memories, though distant, remain alive and vibrant within her, precious jewels she guards fiercely against the encroaching darkness of captivity. Though fragile as gossamer, these dreams carry an indomitable strength. They are acts of quiet rebellion, whispered promises to herself that freedom is not lost, but only postponed. They remind her of who she truly is, a woman of courage, grace, and unyielding spirit, whose heart beats defiantly even in the face of despair. This flicker of hope, though small, is a beacon that lights her way through the shadows, a steady flame that refuses to be extinguished. You observe how this hope manifests in every breath she takes, filling her with a subtle yet unbreakable power. It lends strength to her weary limbs and courage to her faltering heart. It fuels an enduring determination to survive, to persevere, and one day to reclaim the life and freedom that have been stolen from her. These dreams form a lifeline, an invisible thread tethering her to a future where chains no longer bind her spirit. In the solitude of night, her dreams become a sacred garden, a hidden oasis where she sheds the heavy cloak of servitude and breathes freely, if only for a time. She tends to these visions with fierce tenderness, guarding them against the harsh winds of reality that threaten to tear them away. Each dream is a whispered prayer, a sacred hope carried on the wings of night, a testament to the resilience of the human soul. Tonight, as your breath slows and your mind softens, you are invited to hold this flicker of hope within yourself, to remember that even in the darkest depths, even beneath the heaviest chains, the human spirit can soar, can dream, and can rise anew. Let this story enfold you like a warm, comforting shawl, soothing your thoughts and calming your heart as you drift gently into the peaceful sanctuary of sleep. And as your eyelids close, cradle this hope close, a spark of light no darkness can quench, a promise that freedom waits patiently, ready to bloom again when the time is right. You find yourself gently pulled into a hidden world, a realm of quiet whispers and delicate connections forged in the shadows of captivity. Here, beneath the weight of chains both seen and unseen, the enslaved women gather in small, secret clusters. They speak softly, their voices barely more than a breath, weaving stories into the fabric of the night. These tales are fragile threads of memory and hope, stitched with care and reverence, forming a tapestry of resilience that binds them together in shared endurance. The air is thick with the mingling scents of damp stone walls, faint traces of herbs like lavender and rosemary carried in hidden bundles, and the soft glow of flickering candlelight casting wavering shadows. Each whispered story is a precious gift, carried carefully from one woman to the next, like an heirloom passed through generations. These are stories of lives uprooted and scattered, of families torn apart by war and slavery, yet still burning brightly in the hearts of those who cling to them. You listen as voices rise and fall in gentle cadence, recounting memories of childhoods filled with laughter beneath open skies, of warm hearths and loving embraces, of festivals painted in vibrant colors and fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers. But beneath these joyful recollections lie darker tales, journeys forced by violence and betrayal, the crushing loss of freedom and family, the relentless struggle to hold on to identity in the face of dehumanization. Through these stories, the women reclaim their pasts and their selves. Each narrative is a small rebellion, a defiant refusal to be erased or forgotten. These tales connect them across time and space, linking their shared suffering with the undying hope for a better future. You watch how these threads of memory and hope weave through the group, sparking flickers of recognition, quiet smiles, tears shimmering like fragile jewels in the dim light. In this sacred exchange, a sisterhood blossoms, fragile yet unbreakable, tender yet fierce. This bond becomes a sanctuary, a refuge of trust and love amid the harshness of their captivity. The power of these stories lies not only in remembrance, but in healing. They soothe invisible wounds carved deep into the soul, bolster spirits weary from endless hardship, and kindle courage to face each new day. In whispered confidences, they nurture dreams of freedom, dreams that endure despite the chains and cruelty that surround them. As twilight deepens and silence falls like a soft blanket over the estate, these stories become a beacon, a steady flame that lights the way through darkness, a song of resilience sung softly by those who refuse to be broken. They remind all who listen that even in the bleakest places, hope can bloom and grow. Tonight, as your breath slows and your heart opens, you are invited to carry these threads of freedom within yourself, to honor the quiet strength woven in silence, and to let their gentle power enfold you like a warm embrace. Allow these stories to guide you gently into restful sleep, where dreams sparkle with the light of liberation and the promise of a dawn yet to come. In this sacred space between night and day, between shadow and light, may you find peace in the knowledge that every whispered story holds the power to heal. Every shared memory builds bridges of connection, and every flicker of hope can ignite a revolution of the heart. You find yourself gently drifting into a hidden realm where silence gives birth to song, a sacred space within the cold, unyielding walls of captivity. Here, beneath the flickering shadows cast by dim candlelight, the enslaved women gather in hushed circles, their voices rising softly yet powerfully, weaving melodies that ripple through the darkness like threads of silver spun from pain and hope. The air is thick with the scent of damp stone and faint traces of wild herbs, lavender, rosemary, sage, carefully gathered and passed from hand to hand, their presence a silent prayer for strength and protection. Their songs are not just music. They are lifelines woven from threads of sorrow, memory, and an indomitable will to survive. These harmonies form a tapestry of resilience, binding their hearts and souls together with a fierce strength no chains can break. You watch as their voices rise and fall like gentle waves, carrying stories of lost homelands, childhoods once filled with laughter under open skies, and families torn apart by war, betrayal, and forced separation. Each note carries the weight of stolen love and denied freedom, yet beneath it all burns a stubborn ember of hope, a yearning that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how long or dark the night. You listen deeply, pulled into the sacred chorus, as voices intertwine like threads in a loom. Each woman adds her voice to a shared narrative, whispered prayers for strength and salvation, lullabies soothing weary hearts, anthems celebrating courage and defiance. These songs are sacred rituals passed down through generations, a secret language of survival and resistance. Within their soft harmonies echo the lives of countless women who came before them, their joys, their sorrows, their laughter, their tears, their unwavering spirit carried across time and space. The music flows like a river of light through the stone halls and cramped quarters, touching the hearts of all who listen. Invisible threads of connection and solidarity are woven through the air, transforming pain into soft sorrow, rekindling courage, and forging bonds of belonging that bloom amidst the cold stones and harsh commands. These songs are a refuge, a rebellion, and a sanctuary, a place where fear retreats and hope flourishes beneath the gentle care of sisterhood. You feel the immense power of this quiet chorus, a force transcending the physical chains that bind their bodies and the oppressive silence imposed upon their voices. It stands as a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit, a beacon shining bright through the darkest nights. The echoes of freedom reverberate softly but persistently. Each note, each whispered harmony becomes a flame illuminating the path toward liberation and healing. As you breathe deeply, your mind quiets and your heart opens. You are invited to join in this sacred harmony. Let the melodies of hope and endurance enfold you like a warm, comforting shawl, soothing your restless thoughts and calming your weary soul. Allow the gentle music to carry you tenderly into peaceful slumber, where dreams shimmer with strength, resilience, and the promise of brighter tomorrows. In the sacred twilight, between night and day, between shadow and light, may you find comfort in the knowledge that every note sung in silence is an act of rebellion, every whispered melody a thread woven into the fabric of freedom, and every heartbeat a testament to the unbreakable power of hope. You find yourself slowly waking to the soft glow of dawn, filtering through the narrow slats of heavy wooden shutters. The pale golden light spills hesitantly across the cold, unforgiving stone floor of the chamber, casting long shadows that dance gently with the flicker of a dying candle. Outside, the world begins to stir, birds breaking the morning silence with delicate song, the faint rustle of leaves as a gentle breeze awakens the trees. Yet inside this dim, shadowed room, time seems to pause, holding its breath in quiet reverence for the fragile flicker of hope that burns within. Here, amid the oppressive weight of captivity, the enslaved women nurture their dreams, precious, delicate flames that pulse softly in the dark, guiding them through the endless nights of confinement. These dreams are more than distant wishes. They are lifelines woven from memory, yearning, and defiance. Each woman guards her own secret garden of hope, a sacred space where freedom lives in whispered promises and stolen moments of solace. Some dream of returning to distant homelands, where wildflowers sway beneath endless blue skies and the air is sweet with the scent of earth and rain. They imagine walking barefoot over soft grass, feeling the sun warm their faces and the wind lift their hair, free from the harsh grip of chains. Others hold fast to visions of reunion, laughter echoing through open doorways, embraces that mend shattered hearts, songs sung beneath familiar stars. Still, some seek refuge in smaller dreams, a gentle smile shared with a sister, a moment of peace in the chaos, a day unmarred by pain or fear. Each of these dreams, though fragile, is a quiet rebellion against the darkness that seeks to consume them. You sense the sacred power these dreams hold, their roots sinking deep into the soil of the soul, drawing strength from hidden wells of courage and resilience. They kindle fires in the hearts that refuse to be broken, illuminating paths through the shadows with flickering light. To hold on to a dream is to hold on to life itself, an act of survival, a testament to unyielding spirit and unbroken hope. You watch how these dreams color every breath and step, infusing even the harshest moments with meaning and purpose. When bodies grow weary beneath the weight of servitude, it is the promise of love and freedom that lifts the spirit. When sorrow threatens to drown the heart, it is the light of a cherished dream that rekindles the will to endure. In this sacred space between night and dawn, these dreams bloom with fragile beauty, like dew glistening on grass at first light, delicate but powerful enough to sustain countless souls. Tonight, as your breath slows and your mind softens, you are invited to cradle these dreams within your own heart. Let their gentle warmth wash over you like the first light of morning, guiding you softly into restful sleep. Allow yourself to walk alongside these women, carried by hope's steady wings, and find comfort in the truth that even the faintest spark can shine through the darkest night. As your eyes close and you surrender to sleep's embrace, remember this: the light within, the dreams we nurture and protect, is a force beyond measure, a beacon in the deepest shadow, a guide leading us toward the dawn of freedom and renewal. You find yourself wrapped in the gentle embrace of twilight, a moment suspended between day and night, where the fading light softens the edges of reality and the world holds its breath in hushed anticipation. Here, within the cold, shadowed chambers where the enslaved women dwell, a different kind of light flickers, one born not of flame or sun, but of whispered words, shared glances, and the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood. The air is thick with the mingling scents of worn cloth, herbs carefully gathered for comfort and healing, lavender to calm frayed nerves, rosemary to strengthen weary spirits, sage to ward off despair. These fragrances mingle with the faint, lingering traces of tears and sweat, the silent testimony of nights spent in prayer and days marked by toil. In this sacred space, the women gather close, their voices low and tender, weaving a tapestry of whispers that carries the weight of shared strength, hope, and unspoken understanding. Each word spoken is a thread, each glance a stitch, binding their hearts together in a fabric of resilience that no chains can tear apart. The room hums softly with the collective breath of sisterhood, a comforting, steady rhythm that soothes and sustains. Here, in the fragile glow of candlelight, vulnerability meets courage, pain is softened by compassion, and loneliness melts into belonging. You listen intently as stories unfold, tales of small kindnesses exchanged amidst the shadows, warnings passed in secret glances, moments of laughter that shine like stars piercing a cloudy sky. These fleeting instances, fragile as they may be, are sacred and potent, carrying the strength to carry each woman through the coldest nights and the harshest days. They speak of love, loss, courage, and survival, the threads that weave the fabric of their shared existence. In their voices, you hear the echoes of defiance, a quiet but steadfast refusal to be silenced or broken. These bonds are more than friendships. They are shields against despair, anchors in storms of suffering. Through shared grief and fleeting joys, they create a community that transcends the walls and chains, a sisterhood that carries them when their own strength falters. You sense how this network of care nurtures hope, transforming loneliness into solidarity and despair into determination. Each whispered word, each exchanged look, becomes a vital stitch in the tapestry of survival, binding them with a strength that endures beyond captivity. In this delicate balance, hope is nurtured, courage kindled, and the will to persevere rekindled anew. Tonight, as your breath slows and your mind softens, you are invited to feel these whispers of strength envelop you like a soft, warm shawl. Let their gentle embrace soothe your weary heart and carry you tenderly into peaceful dreams, where light and love fill every shadowed corner. Allow the quiet power of sisterhood to settle within you, a balm for restless thoughts and a beacon for your spirit. In this moment of calm and connection, remember you are never truly alone. Just as these women find power and solace in their bonds, so too can you find comfort and courage in the connections that surround you, in whispered words shared across quiet spaces, in hands held in reassurance, and in hearts united by compassion. May these whispers of strength guide you gently into sleep, where dreams weave light and hope into the tapestry of night, and where the bonds that carry us sustain us through all darkness. You find yourself gently wrapped in a rare and precious stillness, a fragile pause in the relentless storm that has battered these souls for so long. It is a moment suspended between despair and hope, where the harsh winds of hardship soften to a gentle drizzle, and the world, for just a breath, feels tender and kind. Inside these cold stone walls of captivity, where shadows press in and weigh heavy on every breath, moments of grace emerge like delicate blossoms pushing through cracked earth. They are balm for weary spirits, a sacred reminder that peace can bloom even in the harshest, most unforgiving soil. The women gather quietly, drawing close as if their very presence could shield one another from the darkness outside. Their breaths slow and deepen as they close their eyes, leaning into the calm that hums softly through the air. A murmur of prayers rises gently, weaving through the dim chamber, mingling with the faint fragrance of sage and lavender. Herbs carefully gathered and cherished for their soothing power, carried like talismans against fear and pain. In this sacred hush, pain loosens its grip, and fear withdraws its heavy hand, replaced by a profound sense of belonging and the tender stirrings of hope. You watch as their faces soften under the flickering candlelight, the sharp lines etched by worry and weariness, melting away into expressions of gentle serenity. In these moments, they reclaim pieces of themselves long thought lost, sparks of light flickering bravely against the dark. It is here, in the quiet between shadows, that true strength is born, not in grand gestures of defiance or struggle alone, but in the deep, abiding grace of simply being present, of surrendering to the peace that lingers beneath the turmoil. The power of this moment is delicate yet immense. It weaves a fragile shield around their hearts, offering refuge from the harshness beyond the walls. It is a sanctuary where the weight of chains falls away, even if only for a fleeting heartbeat, allowing space for healing and renewal. Here, the women breathe together, sharing silent communion in a language of breath and stillness. The flickering candlelight casts dancing shadows on the cracked stone walls. As the women's gentle murmurs blend with the distant whisper of wind outside, you imagine their hearts sinking in quiet harmony, a lullaby of resilience whispered through shared presence. In this sacred circle, past and present converge, pain and hope entwine, and the promise of dawn glimmers on the horizon like a distant star. You feel the subtle shift in the room, a softening of the harsh edges that captivity has carved into their lives. Here, time slows, and the rhythm of survival gives way to the gentle pulse of healing. Their whispered prayers ripple outward like gentle waves, touching invisible corners where despair once reigned and planting seeds of peace and courage. Tonight, as your breath slows and your mind softens, you are invited to step into this moment of grace. Let its gentle peace wash over you like a cool, soothing stream, easing every ache, quieting every fear, and calming every restless thought. Allow yourself to be cradled in the tender arms of calm, carried softly into dreams woven with light, love, and healing. In this sanctuary of silence and serenity, remember that even amid storms, peace can take root and flourish. That strength is not only found in fighting or enduring, but also in the quiet courage to rest, to breathe, and to simply be. You find yourself gently drawn into the soft glow of flickering candlelight, its warm, trembling light casting long, wavering shadows upon the cold, ancient stone walls of the chamber. The air is thick with the mingled scents of lavender, rosemary, and sage herbs carefully gathered and treasured like sacred talismans, their faint fragrance weaving through the dim space like a whispered prayer for comfort and protection. In this quiet, sacred place, the enslaved women come, together in a close circle, their voices low and tender, threading a tapestry of whispered stories and quiet affirmations that carry the profound weight of survival, the fragile promise of hope, and the fierce strength of sisterhood. Each shared story is a lifeline, a precious fragment of courage and resilience, passed gently from one trembling hand to another, from one weary heart to the next. You feel the gravity of their histories, stolen childhoods, and shattered families, torn apart by war, betrayal, and cruelty, years marked by relentless suffering and steadfast endurance. Their whispers echo with the silent roar of dreams deferred and voices suppressed. Yet beneath every breath, you sense the flicker of an unyielding spark, a stubborn flame of defiance that refuses to be snuffed out, no matter how dark the night. You watch as the circle tightens, hands reaching out instinctively to comfort quivering shoulders, clasp trembling wrists, and offer the solace of touch without words. The warmth radiating from their drawing bodies transcends the chill of the stone beneath them, creating an invisible shield of unity and protection. In this sacred union, a powerful current flows, a collective courage and compassion that stirs their spirits and fans the faintest flicker of freedom deep within their souls. The women share stories of distant homes and faraway lands, of childhood laughter once carried by the wind beneath. Endless skies, of love cruelly torn apart by fate and the harshness of captivity. They speak of small acts of kindness discovered in unlikely places, secret glances exchanged in moments of fear and danger, and dreams held close despite the relentless harshness that surrounds them. Each narrative is a precious thread woven into the rich, complex fabric of their shared existence, binding them together with unbreakable strength, unwavering solidarity, and tender compassion. You sense how these whispered confidences nurture hope and resilience in their hearts and minds. They transform isolation into community, fear into bravery, and despair into a fierce determination to survive and reclaim their dignity. In the warm glow of their shared presence, you feel the quiet power of sisterhood, a sanctuary where wounds soften, where hope blooms like a fragile flower, pushing through frozen ground in the depths of winter. Tonight, as your breath deepens and your mind quiets, you are invited to step fully into this circle of whispers. Let their strength enfold you like a soft, protective shawl, soothing your weary heart and carrying you gently into dreams filled with light, warmth, and love. Allow the quiet courage, fierce resilience, and tender compassion of these women to inspire and sustain you, reminding you that even in the darkest places, unity and compassion can kindle the brightest fires. As you drift deeper into restful sleep, carry this sacred truth close to your heart. Together, we are stronger. Together, our whispers rise into a roar. Together, we carry one another through the night and toward the first light of dawn. You find yourself slowly drawn into the soft embrace of twilight, where day surrenders gently to night and the sky melts into a tapestry of violet, gold, and deepening blues. The chamber you inhabit is bathed in the warm flicker of candlelight, each flame casting long, wavering shadows that dance across the rough, cold stone walls. The air is heavy with the mingled scents of earth and wildflowers, infused with the delicate fragrance of carefully gathered herb sage, lavender, rosemary, each one a treasured talisman, a whispered prayer for comfort, strength, and protection. These scents mingle with the faint, distant sounds of the world outside, yet within these walls, time seems to slow, embracing you in a sacred stillness. In this hallowed space, the enslaved women move with deliberate grace, their bodies weaving stories through a dance as ancient as time itself, a ritual of hope blossoming amidst despair. The chamber hums softly with the rhythm of their footsteps, the gentle rustle of worn fabrics brushing against stone, the soft tap of bare feet tracing sacred patterns, and the shared breath of sisters bound by circumstance, yet united in spirit. Each movement is a word, every sway a phrase in a silent language spoken not with voices, but through the soul, telling stories of longing, resilience, and the fierce will to survive. Their faces, softly illuminated by candlelight, glow with an inner fire that defies the weariness etched into every line. Their eyes shimmer with the flickering light of dreams unextinguished by years of hardship and suffering. The dance speaks of stolen childhoods and distant homelands ravaged by war, of laughter once shared beneath open skies now shadowed by captivity, and of families cruelly torn apart by fate and circumstance. Yet beneath the veil of sorrow pulses an unbreakable strength, a shared flame burning defiantly in the darkness. This dance becomes a language of unity, a testament to spirits refusing to be silenced. Their feet trace intricate, flowing patterns on the cold stone floor, echoing rhythms both ancient and sacred, preserved here in secret. Their hands reach out to briefly touch before withdrawing, symbols of connection amid enforced separations, love persisting despite loss. Their bodies rise and fall, bend and soar, embodying cycles of hope and despair, bondage and yearning, darkness and light. You feel the profound sacredness of this dance, the way it weaves light into shadow, hope into hardship. It is a quiet rebellion, a sacred act of resistance, transcending physical chains and imposed silence. Movement becomes prayer, a vow whispered through the universal language of the body to the cosmos, a promise that the spirit will endure beyond captivity. You observe how the dance, though silent, speaks volumes to all who witness it. The delicate arch of a hand tells of longing for freedom. The soft fall to the knees reveals sorrow too deep for words, and the gradual rise back to standing embodies resilience reborn. Each movement is laden with history, memory, and unspoken promises, a collective narrative passed from heart to heart, soul to soul. Outside, the night deepens, stars peeking through the cracks of the chamber's small windows. The flickering candlelight grows softer, yet within this space, the dance continues, undimmed and eternal. The women's shadows stretch long and intertwine, a living mural of strength and hope painted across cold stone. Tonight, as your breath deepens and your heart softens, you are invited to step fully into this dance of hope. Let its rhythm carry you gently into dreams where light outshines darkness, where the spirit soars freely, and where every step echoes with the unbreakable promise of dawn. In this sacred moment between day and night, shadow and light, may you find peace in the timeless truth that hope is a dance without end, a delicate, enduring song carrying us through even the longest nights and into the warm embrace of morning. You awaken slowly as the fragile light of dawn seeps gently through tattered, worn curtains. The pale glow stretches hesitantly across the cold, uneven stone floor, filling the chamber with a soft golden warmth, a quiet promise of new beginnings waiting to unfold. Outside, the world is still wrapped in a delicate veil of morning mist, the earth heavy with dew. Inside these ancient walls, a gentle stirring signals the start of another day, a day woven from threads of hope and resilience. The enslaved women rise with careful grace, their movements measured and purposeful. Each step, though soft and deliberate, carries the unspoken vow that their spirits remain unbroken despite the years of hardship etched into their bodies and souls. Though fatigue marks their faces and weariness haunts their limbs, their every motion radiates dignity, a quiet strength forged in the fires of survival and tempered by an enduring hope that refuses to be extinguished. You watch as they move throughout the dim chamber, performing humble tasks with solemn reverence. They prepare meager meals from scant provisions, their hands moving with practiced care as they tend aching limbs and soothe worn muscles. Soft smiles are exchanged between them, filled with unspoken understanding and solidarity, a language of compassion and shared endurance. The flickering morning light catches in their eyes, revealing sparks of dreams fiercely guarded beneath layers of pain and sorrow. There is a sacred rhythm to their morning quiet moments of connection, intertwined with the necessary acts of survival. The gentle brush of fingers, the warm clasp of hands offering reassurance, the tender sharing of stories and memories, whispered in hushed tones. All these form an invisible web of love and solidarity, a force strong enough to hold them through even the darkest nights. You feel this quiet strength pulsing like a living thing throughout the room. It is a balm for aching hearts and tired bodies, a steady flame that refuses to be dimmed. It is the power of endurance, the soft defiance of despair, carried through the longest, darkest nights and into the fragile light of dawn. As your breath deepens and your heart softens, you are invited to cradle this quiet strength within yourself. Let it seep into your being like the warmth of sunlight melting frost, soothing every ache and steadying every doubt. Allow this tender power to carry you gently into dreams woven with peace, renewal, and steadfast hope. Tonight, as sleep beckons and your eyelids grow heavy, remember that true strength often whispers softly rather than shouts loudly. It is found in the smallest, most tender moments, the quiet acts of courage and compassion that ripple gently through time. It is in the bonds forged through shared hardship, the love quietly given and received, and the hope nurtured within the heart that we find the power to carry on, even through the longest and darkest nights. As you drift into restful slumber, may this quiet strength fill your soul and guide you gently into dreams where light and love reside, where peace is your companion, and where the promise of a new dawn awaits you, warm and bright. You awaken slowly, the fragile light of dawn seeping softly through the cracked, ancient shutters of the stone chamber. It spills gently across the cold, uneven floor, casting long, wavering shadows that seem to breathe with the history embedded in the very walls around you. The air is thick with the mingling scents of wild herbs, sage, lavender, rosemary, carefully gathered and treasured, their fragrance weaving a delicate tapestry that soothes aching spirits and whispers promises of protection and courage. This sacred aroma mingles with the faint traces of past prayers, tears, and whispered hopes, saturating the stillness of the room. Within this hallowed space, the enslaved women stir from their slumber with measured grace, their movements deliberate, careful, imbued with a quiet dignity. Each step, each sigh, each glance is a testament to a spirit forged in suffering, but never broken. A resilience carried like a fragile flame amidst the shadows of captivity. Their eyes, when they meet yours, shimmer with unspoken stories, dreams deferred, loves lost, and hopes fiercely guarded. The chamber hums softly with the rhythm of their collective breath, a steady, comforting pulse that binds them together beyond chains and walls. You listen closely as their voices rise gently, weaving an intricate symphony of whispered words and soft confessions. Each utterance is laden with the weight of survival, resilience, and the defiant will to endure. The stories they share are threads in an expansive tapestry, stolen childhoods, homes left behind like fading echoes, families ripped apart by cruel fate and ruthless hands. Yet beneath the sorrowful veil of memory, you sense the flicker of an unquenchable fire, a shared flame burning fiercely through the darkest nights. Their words dance through the chamber like a gentle wind, stirring the embers of hope and courage in all who hear. Vulnerability becomes strength as each woman lends her voice to this sacred chorus, a collective anthem of perseverance and love. In their shared narratives, they forge an invisible fortress of connection, a sanctuary woven for mutual understanding and compassion. It is a place where despair is softened and courage is rekindled, a place where no one is truly alone. Outside, the world awakens gradually. Birds begin tentative songs, leaves rustle softly in the morning breeze, and distant sounds of life stir the stillness. Yet inside, the echoes of these voices ripple through the chamber's stone walls, infusing the space with warmth and light. Each story told is a vow to remember, to survive, to reclaim what captivity has sought to steal their dignity, their dreams, their very selves. Tonight, as your breath slows and your mind eases, you are invited to carry these echoes of resilience within your heart. Let their strength flow through you, a quiet current that lifts and steadies you. Let their stories cradle you gently into dreams, where your own voice is free, your spirit unbound, and your soul at peace with the unyielding power of shared humanity. May this sacred chorus of courage and hope guide you through the quiet hours of night, wrapping you in a gentle embrace that promises renewal at the coming dawn. The afternoon sun filters softly through the narrow, dust-streaked windows of the ancient chamber, casting warm pools of golden light across the cold, worn stone floor. The air is rich with the mingling scents of wild herbs, sage, lavender, and rosemary, carefully gathered and cherished, their delicate fragrance weaving through the stillness like whispered prayers. The scent mingles with the faint earthiness of damp stone and faded fabrics, the very essence of a place steeped in history and sorrow, yet also in resilience and hope. Inside this sacred space, the enslaved women move with slow, deliberate grace, each step measured and purposeful. Their actions form an intricate dance of connection, weaving an invisible tapestry of shared stories, whispered hopes, and tender care. You watch as they move among one another, their presence intertwining like threads in a rich fabric, each thread vital and strong, binding them together in a sisterhood that defies the harshness of their reality. Every glance exchanged, every gentle touch, every soft-spoken word becomes a stitch in this delicate but unbreakable fabric. These threads are lifelines, anchoring them against despair and offering refuge in moments of weakness. They create a sanctuary where loneliness is banished and strength is born anew. One woman reaches out with trembling fingers to steady another, her touch a silent promise of support and solidarity. Nearby, two others share a knowing smile, their eyes reflecting histories and unspoken vows. You sense in these quiet interactions a profound power and unyielding bond, forged in suffering and tempered by unwavering love and empathy. As the circle tightens, soft murmurs fill the air, stories unfolding like delicate petals, opening to reveal memories both painful and precious. Tales of stolen childhoods, distant homes lost to war and cruelty, and families ripped apart by a cruel fate. Yet within these stories lies a flicker of hope, a spark of defiance that refuses to be extinguished. The women speak of fleeting moments of kindness found amid cruelty, of laughter shared in secret moments of joy, and of dreams kept alive through the darkest times. Their voices intertwine, forming a tapestry rich with resilience and unbreakable spirit. The chamber hums with their collective breath, a gentle rhythm that speaks of endurance and quiet courage. You feel the warmth of their connection, a living presence that infuses the cold stone and shadows with life and light. This bond transcends the physical chains that confine them, embodying the unbreakable strength found in human connection. Tonight, as your breath slows and your heart opens, you are invited to feel the embrace of these threads. Let their warmth seep into your soul, anchoring you in the quiet power of unity and mutual support. Allow this sacred fabric of connection to carry you gently into dreams where you are never alone, where every heartbeat resonates in harmony, and where hope weaves its timeless song through the darkness. In the stillness of night, may you rest peacefully knowing that the threads that bind us are unbreakable, weaving light, love, and strength through even the darkest times. May this knowledge fill your dreams with comfort, courage, and the gentle promise of dawn. The fading twilight casts a gentle veil over the ancient stone chamber, its walls echoing with the quiet history of countless whispered stories and unspoken dreams. Outside, the world softens into dusk, where the colors of the sky bleed slowly from orange to deep indigo, stars peeking shyly through the settling dark. Inside, the air is thick with the mingling scents of dried sage, lavender, and rosemary herbs lovingly gathered and preserved by hands both weary and hopeful. These aromas drift quietly, weaving through the stillness like a sacred song, an invisible thread stitching together moments of solace amid suffering. Within this dim, hallowed room, the enslaved women gather in a close circle, bodies moving with slow, deliberate grace as if dancing to an ancient rhythm known late to their souls. The soft rustling of fabric and the gentle shift of feet against the cold floor are the only sounds breaking the silence, save for the murmured whispers exchanged between them, words heavy with meaning, yet spoken so softly they could be mistaken for the sighs of the night itself. These murmurs carry secrets fragile, precious, and fiercely guarded, shared only here in the safety of their sisterhood. Each secret is a thread, spun from the tangled web of their pasts, woven into a tapestry of survival and defiance that binds them beyond the iron bars and shadowed chains of captivity. Their voices, though quiet, form a chorus of resilience, a symphony of endurance that breathes life into the cold stones and fragile walls. You lean in, drawn by the weight and warmth of these silent confessions. Every whispered word is a lifeline, a balm to wounds unseen yet deeply felt. The women speak of stolen childhoods, of homes razed by war and cruelty, of families torn apart and lives forever altered. Yet within these stories of loss and pain glimmers a stubborn flame, a fierce and unyielding hope that refuses to be extinguished. Their eyes meet in knowing glances, understanding and compassion passing silently between them. Hands reach out, trembling yet steady, to grasp another's in quiet reassurance. In these gentle gestures, a language beyond words unfolds a sacred communion of hearts, bound by shared sorrow and unbreakable love. The stories told in whispers become a sanctuary, a sacred space where courage is rekindled and strength is born anew. Outside, the night deepens. Stars emerge, twinkling softly against the vast velvet sky, distant and yet steadfast. Inside, the chamber hums with the rhythm of shared breath and beating hearts, a sacred symphony of survival and hope. This circle of silent bonds forms a protective cocoon, shielding them from despair's chill and filling the space with light and warmth. Tonight, as your breath slows and your heart opens, you are invited to carry these silent bonds within your own spirit. Let their warmth seep deep into your being, grounding you in the quiet power of unity and shared humanity. Allow these sacred threads to cradle you gently into dreams where loneliness dissolves, where your soul finds rest, and where hope shines eternal even in the darkest night. May the enduring power of these silent bonds guide you through the night, wrapping you in a tender embrace of peace, courage, and everlasting love. The ancient chamber stands silent beneath the soft cloak of twilight, its cold stone walls steeped in centuries of whispered secrets and silent prayers. The fading light of day filters slowly through narrow, dust-streaked windows, casting gentle patterns of gold and gray across the worn floor. Shadows stretch and curl like slow-moving tides, tracing the contours of a space heavy with memory and sorrow. The air is thick with the mingled scents of dried sage, lavender, and rosemary herbs gathered carefully by hands both weary and hopeful, their fragrance weaving an invisible tapestry of comfort and protection around the souls gathered within. Inside this sacred sanctuary, the enslaved women move with deliberate grace, their bodies and spirits intertwined by shared pain and steadfast hope. Their movements are slow, measured, each gesture a thread in the delicate fabric of connection and solace they weave together. Voices fall to hushed murmurs, soft, tentative, yet unwavering, sharing secrets and stories carried close to the heart. These whispered truths, fragile but fierce, are lifelines spun from years of suffering and survival, binding these women beyond the iron chains and shadowed confines of captivity. You lean closer, drawn by the sacred weight of these whispered stories. Each secret is a stitch in an immense tapestry of endurance and defiant stories of stolen childhoods, homes razed by fire and war, families torn apart by the cruel hands of fate. Beneath the heavy cloak of sorrow flickers a flame of fierce, unquenchable light of hope and resilience that refuses to be extinguished by the darkest nights. Their eyes meet in knowing glances, soft smiles breaking through the weight of their burdens, subtle gestures of comfort and understanding passing silently between them. In the gentle clasp of hands and quiet nods of recognition, you witness a language beyond words, a communion of souls bound by shared suffering and unyielding love. These whispered stories become a balm for wounded hearts, weaving a sanctuary of courage, compassion, and unbreakable will. Outside, stars wheel silently through the vast night sky, distant yet eternal in their steady glow. Inside, the chamber hums softly with the rhythm of breath and heartbeat, a sacred symphony of survival and hope. This circle, bound by whispered memories and silent strength, forms an invisible fortress against despair, a refuge built not from stone but from love, strength, and the enduring power of human connection. Tonight, as your breath slows and your heart softens, you are invited to cradle these whispers within your soul. Let their warmth seep deep, grounding you in the quiet power of unity and shared humanity. Allow these sacred threads to carry you gently into dreams where loneliness fades, where your spirit finds refuge, and where hope shines steadfast through the darkest hours. May the enduring power of these silent bonds guide you through the night, wrapping you in a gentle embrace of peace, courage, and the eternal light of love. The ancient chamber stands wrapped in the deepening night, its stone walls soaked with the quiet resilience of countless souls who have come before. The fading light filters gently through narrow, dusty windows, casting a muted glow that flickers softly against the cold floor. Shadows stretch and curl across the worn stones, dancing slowly as if breathing life into the stories etched into every corner. The air is thick with the scent of dried sage, lavender, and rosemary herbs carefully gathered and cherished for their healing and protective powers. Their fragrance weaves through the stillness like a gentle caress, wrapping the women gathered inside in a veil of comfort and strength. This sacred aroma mingles with the faint earthiness of old fabric and damp stone, creating a sanctuary suspended between past and present. Within this quiet refuge, the enslaved women draw close, their bodies and spirits intertwined by shared pain and enduring hope. Their movements are deliberate and graceful, each gesture a silent thread in the intricate fabric of connection they weave together. Voices fall to murmurs soft as a whisper, yet imbued with the weight of countless shared sorrows and quiet triumphs. These whispered truths, fragile yet fierce, are lifelines spun from years of suffering and survival, binding these women beyond the physical chains that confine them. You lean in, drawn by the profound intimacy of these whispered stories. Each secret is a stitch in a vast tapestry of endurance and defiant stories of stolen childhoods, homes razed by fire and war, families torn apart by fate's merciless hand. Yet beneath the veil of sorrow flickers a flame of fierce, unquenchable light of hope and resilience that refuses to be extinguished by the darkest nights. Their eyes meet in knowing glances, soft smiles breaking through the weight of their burdens, subtle gestures of comfort and understanding passing silently between them. In the gentle clasp of hands and quiet nods of recognition, you witness a language beyond words, a communion of souls bound by shared suffering and unyielding love. These whispered stories become a balm for wounded hearts, weaving a sanctuary of courage, compassion, and unbreakable will. Outside, the stars wheel silently across the vast night sky, distant yet eternal in their steady glow. Inside, the chamber hums softly with the rhythm of breath and heartbeat, a sacred symphony of survival and hope. This circle, bound by whispered memories and silent strength, forms an invisible fortress against despair, a refuge built not from stone but from love, strength, and the enduring power of human connection. Tonight, as your breath slows and your heart softens, you are invited to cradle these whispers within your soul. Let their warmth seep deep, grounding you in the quiet power of unity and shared humanity. Allow these sacred threads to carry you gently into dreams where loneliness fades, where your spirit finds refuge, and where hope shines steadfast through the darkest hours. May the enduring power of these silent bonds guide you through the night, wrapping you in a gentle embrace of peace, courage, and the eternal light of love. Hey guys, tonight we reach the gentle closing of our journey, a soft farewell wrapped in quiet hope, whispered strength, and lingering light. Before we settle into the calm of night, please take a moment to rate the story and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what allows these soothing tales to reach you, guiding many gently into restful sleep. The ancient chamber, once filled with the voices of shared stories and silent courage, now rests beneath a velvet night sky, its worn stone walls steeped in history and memory. Candle flames flicker tenderly, casting slow, dancing shadows that trace the curves and edges of this sacred space. The floor beneath your feet feels cool yet comforting, holding echoes of footsteps long past, of whispers exchanged, of hands held tightly in moments of shared solace. The air here is rich with the mingling scents of sage, lavender, and rosemary herbs carefully gathered, dried, and treasured for their healing properties. Their fragrance weaves through the room like a gentle lullaby, wrapping around your senses and calming your restless mind. A soft breeze slips through narrow, dust-veiled windows, carrying the distant hum of a sleeping world, and blending seamlessly with the sacred aromas. Within this sanctuary, the women who once gathered to share their stories now rest, their whispered memories lingering softly like a fading melody. Their strength, born from hardship, sorrow, and quiet defiance, flows invisibly through the chamber, a soothing current that envelops you in warmth and safety. You sense the steady pulse of resilience in the air, the unspoken bond that connects every soul who has ever sought refuge here. Outside, the stars wheel slowly across the vast night sky, their pale light steady and eternal, casting a silver glow over the sleeping earth. Inside, the chamber hums with the rhythm of breath and heartbeat, a sacred symphony of survival, hope, and enduring love. The circle these women formed remains unbroken, an invisible fortress woven from threads of compassion, courage, and unwavering spirit. As your eyelids grow heavy and your breath deepens, you are invited to surrender fully to this moment, to let go of the day's worries and the weight of the world. Feel the gentle light of this place wrap around you like a warm blanket, easing every tension, quieting every thought. Memories of whispered laughter, secret acts of kindness, and moments of quiet rebellion flicker like embers, casting a soft glow in the stillness. You drift, cradled by the enduring bonds of sisterhood and the unyielding power of shared stories. In this space between wakefulness and dreams, loneliness dissolves into the soft light of companionship. Your spirit finds rest, renewal, and a deep, abiding peace. Let the stories, the whispered secrets, and the tender strength of these souls guide you gently into sleep. May your dreams be filled with light, love, and the quiet assurance that even in the darkest night, a steadfast flame burns bright within you, an eternal beacon guiding you safely home. The ancient chamber, steeped in silence through the long hours of night, now begins to stir as the first gentle touch of dawn seeps slowly into its depths. Pale fingers of light creep softly across the cold stone floor, brushing past worn walls that have borne silent witness to centuries of whispered secrets and quiet endurance. The shadows, once thick and deep, begin to dissolve into a soft wash of gold and rose, painting a delicate mosaic of warmth and hope over the room. Outside, the world slowly awakens under the tender gaze of morning. The sky, painted with hues of lavender, blush pink, and soft amber, promises renewal and the endless possibilities that each new day brings. A cool breeze carries the sweet scent of dew-laden earth mingled with a lingering aroma of sage, lavender, and rosemary, the sacred herbs treasured by generations for their soothing and healing properties. Their fragrance coils around you gently, wrapping you in a comforting embrace, inviting your heart to open and your breath to deepen. Within the chamber, the spirits of the women who once gathered here seem to rise with the light, their whispered stories transforming into a delicate symphony of resilience and hope. These tales, once spoken softly in the face of despair, now glow like embers, rekindled into steady flames beacons that illuminate the path from darkness toward dawn. You can almost hear the faint echoes of laughter shared in secret moments, the gentle touch of hands offering solace, and the unbreakable bonds forged through shared struggle. You find yourself drawn into this serene awakening, your senses alive to the subtle interplay of light, scent, and sound that fills the sacred space. The gentle rhythm of breath and heartbeat, the soft murmur of distant birdsong, and the delicate rustle of leaves outside create a harmony that soothes and uplifts your spirit. The chamber breathes with life once more, a testament to the enduring power of connection and the promise of new beginnings. As you sit quietly, feeling the warmth of the morning light seep into your very being, you are invited to carry the promise of this dawn within your soul. Let the gentle illumination wash away the shadows of yesterday, replacing them with a tender glow of hope and renewal. Feel the invisible threads of shared strength and compassion weaving through your spirit, anchoring you firmly in the present while connecting you to the unyielding courage of those who came before. The horizon stretches wide and welcoming, bathed in colors that seem to whisper of possibility and peace. You breathe deeply, allowing this moment to fill you with calm and clarity. The stories that have carried you through shadowed nights now become the light guiding you forward, steady and true. May this dawn bring with it healing, courage, and gentle hope. May you walk into the new day with a heart buoyed by the strength of ancient bonds and the soft grace of morning's first light. And as you move forward, may the echoes of whispered stories remain close, a constant source of comfort and inspiration on your journey. The ancient chamber rests in the delicate hush of dawn, the lingering night folding gently into the soft embrace of morning light. The stone walls, etched with the passage of centuries, cradle the countless whispered stories and silent acts of courage woven through time. Beneath your feet, the worn flagstones bear the weight of footsteps that have long since faded, yet their echoes remain soft whispers in the stillness, traces of lives marked by endurance, loss, and hope. The air carries the mingled scents of sage, lavender, and rosemary, the sacred herbs lovingly gathered and dried by generations past. Their fragrant tendrils curl softly through the chamber, wrapping every shadow and every breath in a gentle veil of comfort and healing. Outside, the world begins to stir. Birdsong rises in tentative greeting to the sun. A cool breeze rustles through ancient leaves, and the sky blooms with the soft colors of dawn lavender, rose, and gold melting into one another like the brushstrokes of a master painter. Inside, the chamber holds its quiet sanctuary, a place where time slows and the heart finds respite amid the echoes of shared humanity. You breathe deeply, the cool, fragrant air filling your lungs as your senses awaken to the subtle symphony of life that unfolds here. The faint rustle of fabric, the soft murmur of distant voices carried on the wind, the gentle creak of ancient woodall converge into a melody of endurance and quiet hope. The women who once gathered here left behind more than stories. They left imprints of strength, woven into the very stones, whispers of resilience, carried on the breath of time. Their voices, once soft murmurs against the darkness, now resonate as a steady current of courage and connection. These stories speak not only of pain and loss, but of the quiet power found in moments, between shadows, stolen glances filled with defiance, hands reaching out in comfort, smiles shared beneath watchful eyes. Each of these fleeting gestures holds a profound weight, a testament to bonds forged in silence and sustained by love. You feel yourself drawn deeper into this invisible web of connection, the threads wrapping gently yet firmly around your heart. The chamber pulses with a steady rhythm, the measured beat of breath and heartbeat, an ancient song that transcends time and space. Here, in this sacred stillness, you are invited to rest, to heal, and to find peace in the enduring spirit that unites all who have walked this path. Imagine the soft glow of morning filtering through towering trees, the delicate unfolding of wildflower petals kissed by dew, the gentle hum of earth awakening beneath your feet. These moments of quiet beauty mirror the resilience that blooms within us all, a subtle strength that carries us through even the darkest nights. As you settle further into calm, let the echoes of whispered stories wash over you, soothing your mind and spirit. Feel the warm embrace of hope and courage, enfolding you like a soft, comforting blanket, inviting you to surrender to deep, restorative rest. Allow your worries to dissolve, your thoughts to slow, and your heart to open to the gentle promise of renewal. May your dreams be filled with light, peace, and the quiet strength of ancient bonds. May you awaken refreshed, carrying the unyielding resilience of these moments within you. A steady beacon, guiding your way through every shadowed path. And as the dawn stretches fully across the sky, bathing the world in its golden light, know that you are cradled by stories that endure beyond time, wrapped in the warm embrace of shared humanity. The first light of dawn spills softly into the ancient chamber, casting a gentle golden glow over worn stone walls steeped in countless whispered stories. The air is thick with the soothing scents of sage, lavender, and rosemary herbs lovingly gathered and preserved over generations, their fragrance weaving an invisible cloak of comfort and healing around you. This sacred aroma mingles with the crisp morning breeze that slips quietly through narrow, dust-veiled windows, carrying the distant song of waking birds, and the soft rustle of leaves stirred by the gentle wind. As the chamber awakens with the tender light of a new day, you feel a profound calm settle within your heart, a deep sense of completion from the long journey through shadows and whispered tales. The stories told here, the stolen glances, the quiet acts of courage, the laughter hidden beneath watchful eyes linger like a soft melody in the stillness, their strength a steady current beneath the surface of time. You breathe deeply, allowing the cool, fragrant air to fill your lungs, opening your senses to the delicate symphony of the morning, the gentle rustle of fabric, the faint murmur of distant voices carried on the breeze, the creak of ancient wood settling all combine into a lullaby of resilience and hope that soothes your spirit and quiets your mind. Within this sacred space, you are cradled by the invisible bonds woven from countless acts of love, endurance, and silent defiance. These threads form a tapestry that wraps around you in a warm embrace, a fortress of gentle strength protecting your soul. The steady rhythm of breath and heartbeat in this chamber, the universal song of survival, guides you softly toward rest. Outside, the sun rises slowly, painting the sky with hues of rose, lavender, and gold. The earth awakens beneath the tender light, life stirring in every corner, flowers unfurling, streams whispering over stones, birds taking flight in joyous chorus. This new day, filled with promise and peace, echoes the timeless cycle of endings and beginnings, shadows and light. As your eyelids grow heavy and your breath deepens, you are invited to surrender to the peaceful embrace of sleep. Let the strength and hope carried in these stories settle deep within your soul, a steady flame burning bright even in the darkest night. Imagine yourself surrounded by a circle of gentle spirits lovers, friends, ancestors, who watch over you with quiet love and unwavering care. In your dreams, may you walk through fields bathed in soft moonlight, the stars above guiding your path with their shimmering light. Feel the cool grass beneath your feet, the whisper of the wind in your hair, the gentle warmth of the night wrapping you like a tender lullaby. Let your heart rest in this place of peace and renewal, knowing you are part of a timeless story that transcends all shadow and fear. May you awaken refreshed and renewed, carrying within you the quiet resilience and gentle hope that have carried so many through the ages. Let these gifts light your way as you step into the new day, your spirit steady and your heart full. Good night and sweet dreams.